Psycho and blasphemous.
To get these fools on my side,
Let's just hope they're fast enough.
so don't be the one to die tonight.
Hello again, YouTube. This is Dr.Kendo, and I'm back with Pokémon Red commentaries here. We just found a rare candy. Isn't that a good way to start? But we're still in Mount Moon, of course. Battling Zubat after Zubat after Zubat, and Pokemon trainers, of course. All of that good stuff that you find in Mount Moon. If you're new to DrKendo commentaries for Pokémon Red, just quickly to explain, I like to answer questions from my subscribers, and you must be a subscriber to ask one and have me annotate back to your channel. And we've got a battle going on here, go through this cave to get to Cerulean City. Yes, we all know that. We watched the cartoon. The bug catcher here is, yes. Anyway, the other thing I like to do is name the Pokemon after you, the YouTube subscribers, but I only do that if you leave a comment on the DrKendo social media pages other than YouTube. So go to, you know, Facebook, Twitter, whatever, and just leave a comment with your YouTube username, and I'll know what you're talking about for Pokemon Red, and we will name one of the Pokemon after you. And I'm going just in order at random, so you cannot request which Pokemon you want to be. It'll just be in order that I get the names, and in order that I catch them is how I will name them. So, this is all going pretty good. So we should just jump right into the questions, though, that, you know, since I said I like to answer questions. The question today comes from, it looks like Sting Mail, but there's a J in there, so it's like Sting Mail. And so he asks, or she says, what is it like inside a Pokeball? I mean, most Pokemon don't mind, although they seem to stretch their body when they get out. Of course, with the exception of Pikachu, who apparently hates going inside his Pokeball. And why is that? So that was the question, and we just got an escape rope. I guess that'll be useful later on and stuff. It's bigger in here than I thought. And that's what he said. That's very inappropriate, lass. Okay, so what is it like inside a Pokeball? I've actually, I haven't thought too much about this and everything, but I kind of have two theories. If you want to go really scientific and everything like that, then of course I'm assuming that the metadata and the particles and everything like that just break down the Pokemon's matter. And sort of like a computer program, it's like just being on shutdown, you know? It's like if you just shut down or something. And wow, we just had some Pokemon gain some levels, which is epic, and Kendo learned Leer, which is, I don't really care about Leer. I never use like Leer and Growl and all that. But going back to the Pokeball, you know, that was maybe a sciencey look at it or a computer-ish look at it. But another thing actually is that I've seen a picture, and it was just a funny image that somebody created and somebody drew. It was shown to me by Soul X Driven, or previously known as X Liz X Boo X, who I did a birthday rap for back in October. But she showed me this picture, and it's like Charmander is inside the Pokeball, or maybe it was Charizard. It was one of them, and he's like got a, you know, robe on, and like he's smoking a pipe, and he's reading a newspaper and everything. And then all of a sudden, the trainer throws the Pokeball. Oh, sweet, we found a TM. Dope.
We're pulling a big job here. Get lost, kid.
That's like the Butch Team Rocket voice or something. He's Butch. But yes, that picture was funny because when the trainer threw the Pokeball, you see the Charmander or Charizard or whoever get all like scared and like freaked out and stuff, and he's like getting sucked out of it or whatever from his nice abode where he's, you know, relaxing and reading the newspaper and in front of a fire, just chilling, and then he, you know, his whole house gets shaken or whatever. And so it's like the Pokeball, maybe being inside the Pokeball is like being inside just a cozy little house. I don't know, but that's my theory, so I think everybody should leave their comments about what they think of Pokeball, you know, what it would be like inside of there. I feel like you could go almost anywhere with that. And of course, the other part of the question here was about Pikachu, and yes, in the show, Pikachu did not like to go inside the Pokeball. They didn't explain it too much, you know, it was just that Ash, of course, tried to get him inside the ball, and he's like, come on, get inside the ball, you'll be safe from all the Spearow. Yes, and before I leave this, don't forget to check the rock right here. You get an ether, so just a fun little secret thing. But yes, Ash was, you know, worried about Pikachu getting attacked by all those Spearow and stuff like that, and he was all hurt. And he was all like, come on, get inside the Pokeball! And it was a big, crazy thing when those Spearow were attacking him and Pikachu. But then Pikachu, of course, helps and saves the day. And that would start many a series and episode of Pikachu just owning up people like that. So let's see, we are depositing some Pokemon and taking some new ones out. I'm going to deposit Chipsta, the Nidoran male, and we're going to take out Wallywin. He's the Geodude. And so let's see, we also want to deposit another one. I'll deposit Asian Lunch Lady, otherwise known as Intense Hydra, now on YouTube. I wish people would stop changing their names. And we're going to take out Gip Elite, who is the Jigglypuff. And of course, we've got a re-heal because I forgot that I always forget that the Pokemon are not healed all the way after you catch them and whatnot. But, you know, again, it was never fully discussed why Pikachu has such an aversion to the Pokeball. I think he's just scared. Of course, the cartoon just wanted to make Pikachu such a, like, icon and commodity for Pokemon. He was just gonna be, like, the figurehead of the entire series and its entire, like, franchise or whatever, so they didn't want him inside the Pokeball where Ash could just neglect him or whatever. He has to be out, and of course it creates a lot of plot points, like Pikachu running away or something like that, or Pikachu getting caught by Team Rocket. I mean, how many times did that happen over the years? So, if they had Pikachu inside the Pokeball, none of that would have been possible. So all that bad stuff, you know, it wouldn't have happened without it. But, of course, Wally Win should be able to own a Sandshrew right here. Sandshrew can't do too much except for, of course, just Sand Attack. And Gip Elite grew to level 5. That's kind of a focus that I'm looking at. Oh, and Wally Win, level 9. Sweet. I was going to say, you know, I wanted to focus on bringing Gip Elite out before each of the battles and just kind of getting the Jigglypuff's levels up and all of that good stuff. And so Mrs. Kendo owning up here. Yep, Gip Elite, level 6. It's all working. It's all going good. All right, so we should move on to the next question, which comes from Red PKA Fan 23, who said, if Charmander wasn't a starter, if you could add a different Pokemon, which one would you add? Now, I have a big problem with this because I answer most of all of my questions pertaining to Generation 1. So don't go trying to correct me about, like, all these other generations and stuff, because I don't care about all the Pokemon after that. I just care about the original 152 or 153, depending on who you're counting and who you don't, of course. And so if you think about it, though, you know, I do like the water, grass, and fire being the starter types and stuff, but Charmander, Charmeleon, and Charizard, that's the only fire Pokemon that has 3 evolution, you know, steps or whatever, the basic, the middle, and then the end. And so again, do not correct me with other generation Pokemon. I don't care if they have other fire types that have 3 evolutions or whatever. I'm just talking about Gen 1 as I do with all my questions unless I get asked about Gen 2 or something beyond that specifically. So that kind of leads me to believe that it couldn't really be possible with a fire Pokemon. You know, you'd have to do something like Geodude as a starter, who I don't, as epic as a Pokemon as he is, I don't really see him being a starter, and he's a rock type, of course. So, you know, what are you gonna do? It's like, you could substitute in a lot of the other triple evolution Pokemon, but do you think that they would make good starters? Because then you'd have to choose between Nidoran, male or female and stuff, and how are you going to choose which one? And if they choose the male one, it'll be sexist, or if they choose the female one, it'll be sexist, and so it's not like you could just choose one. So then what, are you going to have 4 starter Pokemon and then have 2 of them Nidorans? So no, I don't think that it could work. And frankly, of course, as everybody knows, I love Charmander, and I don't like the idea of him being taken out of the equation. And so, oh geez, Gip Elite almost died here from this Zubat. Crazy wild Zubats. Ah, geez. So yes, Mount Moon, this is crazy. We got the Moonstone. That's, there's actually 2 Moonstones here in Mount Moon, so...
Ho ho, you're just a kid,
says this hiker. Who are you calling a kid? Actually, I think, you know, of course, that the Pokemon trainers are supposed to be like 10 years old, just like Ash was when he went out on his Pokemon adventure. Did they ever really address him aging? I mean, Ash, you know, it's like he would be, what, like 17 by now or 18? I don't even know. I'm not doing the math, so I'm sure someone will try to correct me, as YouTube people often do. And so all this leveling up is going pretty well for Gip Elite. It's, everything is looking good. We're kind of just on track, of course, to get out of Mount Moon and whatnot. It takes a lot of going back and healing. So I am aware that that is a big portion of what I'm doing, is just walking back and forth and all that good stuff. But I also want to make sure that I get all the items here in Mount Moon and all the Pokemon that we can get. So yes, if other people have an input, though, on Red PKA Fan 23's question about the Charmander and the starter Pokemon, go ahead and add your opinion in there, because I don't really have a good solution to that. I don't think that there is one that's very good for Generation 1 Pokemon lovers. So, or Charmander lovers, that is. So, please give your opinion, especially if you're a Gen 1 lover like myself. And so I will catch you on the next vid, and thanks for viewing.
I can explain the gain, attain, a gain contained in my game. It'd be the same mundane domain, a way to take my name in vain. Just retain all that I'm saying, be in the fast lane of hearing, entertain, ascertain, get in the clearing from here to Bahrain. I remain the top of the food chain, and fame is on the way. I can't contain myself, complain myself, or blame myself. I train myself to play this well as I get it.